Okay, family, this Fry Guy here with the Slight Research Show, episode 5. I did some slight research that blew my mind and also broke my heart. The statistics on us, family, blacks in America is genocide. The amount of black humanity that goes missing every year, it's amazing, man. It's sad. You know, I'm gonna highlight some sisters and some local sisters that's making a difference. You have to know to grow. Let's get into this research. Facts, not fiction.
Third of the almost 300,000 girls and women reported missing in the U.S. in 2020 were black. That is according to the National Crime Information Center. And yet those cases often get little attention or are all but ignored by law enforcement and national news media.
The new series tells the story of Natalie and Derica Wilson, co-founders of the Black and Missing Foundation. The sisters-in-law rally communities and help families as they search for their missing loved ones. Here now is a clip featuring Derica Wilson.
Being a former law enforcement official, I've dealt firsthand with missing person cases. Back in 2002, I ended up getting hired on with the City of Falls Church Police Department as the first African-American female police officer in the history of the agency. I actually had a case where there was a young lady who had a rape kit. She had been missing for days. She was stuck in a motel in the City of Falls Church with her abductor. She was reported missing in our neighboring jurisdiction, and her flyer never crossed my desk. And she was a young black female. I don't want these cases to be handled sloppy because our community matters.
But it also takes all of our attention. The news turns to it, police officers, the FBI, everybody does everything possible when a white woman goes missing.
Dr. Kay Wise Whitehead is talking about what's come to be known as the missing white woman syndrome. She's the founder and director of the Carson Institute for Race, Peace, and Social Justice at Loyola University of Maryland.
Truly, I want them to be found. I want their families to be made whole and restored. My concern is that we don't have the same type of interest, attention, outlook, commitment when black girls and women go missing.
Whitehead says it goes back to slavery.
White women were put on a pedestal. They were better than, they were perfect. They were what everyone aspired to be and everyone aspired to have. It's the reason why black men and boys were lynched, because they were thought to have whistled at or even spoken to a white woman. It's why when we were down south during Jim Crow, we had to get off the sidewalk and stand in the curb for a white woman to make her way down the block. There's something about white women being lifted up and everyone else being crushed in the process. I think it's a lingering on of what happened during slavery. It's still about the focus on white women. It's about who is beautiful, who is valued, who is important.
Missing persons cases involving people of color in the U.S. are less likely to be solved. Oftentimes, when a person of color or a child of color is reported missing, they are classified as runaway. Cases involving African Americans remain open unresolved 4 times longer than cases involving white or Hispanic people. Facts, not fiction.
It's every parent's nightmare learning that their child has gone missing. According to the latest figures from the FBI's NCIC database, over 500,000 people were reported missing in 2021. Over 350,000 were children. Many of those cases were closed, but of the cases still open, more than 70,000 are missing black girls. Sadly, getting help and assistance in cases involving missing black girls can be non-existent versus cases involving white women, many becoming household names. Both are tragic, but the comparative inattention to missing black girls makes it doubly so. Experts say time is crucial when locating a missing child. So what more can be done to find missing black girls? Joining us remotely.
How many men are missing in America? New York Times puts a shocking number to how many black men have disappeared from society. These words from Ashley Paul. We knew, but we didn't know. In the era where hashtags like Black Lives Matter and Justice For, insert slang, unarmed victim's name exist, we're all too familiar with the precarious nature of being black man in America. But the New York Times put a number to the loss of black men's lives that we're still trying to wrap our heads around. According to the New York Times Upshot blog, there are 1.5 million black men missing in America. 1.5 million. And where are these men during the prime of their life, dead or incarcerated? The United States has the highest incarcerated population among developed countries, and black men are 6 times more likely than white men to be in prison. In addition to that, the leading cause of death among black men is homicide. Black men are 21 more times likely to be killed by the very people responsible for protecting them. According to the New York Times data, cities with a high population of African Americans have a large number of missing black men. The city with the largest proportion of missing black men to black women was Ferguson, Missouri, with 40 missing black men for every 100 black women. North Charleston, South Carolina has a gap larger than 75% of American cities with 25 black men missing for every 100 black women. These locations' significance aren't at a loss to us. On average, for every 100 black women not in jail, there are only 83 black men. There's only 1 missing white man for every 100 white women. Facts, not fiction. Media ignores missing black and indigenous women. Black girls and women go missing at high rates, but that isn't reflected in news coverage of missing person cases. In 2020, of the 268,884 girls and women who were reported missing, 90,333, or nearly 34% of them, were black, according to the National Crime Information Center. Meanwhile, black girls and women account for only about 15% of the U.S. female population, according to the census data. In contrast, white girls and women, which include those who identify as Hispanic, made up 59% of the missing, while accounting for 75% of the overall female population. Facts, not fiction.